Oh, hello, my gays, my straights, my matriarchs, my very few patriarchs. Welcome to another episode of the Millennial Matriarch Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Alexis, and I am joined by my very blonde, very funny, very on top of her shit always co-host, ATD. Hi!
The irony of being told that I'm on top of my shit and just feeling like I'm really not right now, but I appreciate it. I'll take it. Good to be
Yeah,
here.
I always think that you're on top of it. So just know that from afar, I always think you've got it
Thanks.
locked in. How's your week so far? I mean, I know not a lot has happened.
Um, it's okay. I am ramping up for my friend's bachelorette.
And you're planning it, right?
Yes. This is the same friend that we had the bridal shower for a couple months ago. So I'm not alone because I have my co-maid of honor. I'm matron, she's maid. And obviously all the bridesmaids. So yeah, I'm really, really excited. I can't say much more than that because the bride listens to the pod occasionally and I don't
Oh yeah,
wanna
no
spoil
spoilers.
anything.
No spoilers. Well, I
Yeah.
can't wait to hear about
How you
it when
doing?
you get back. We're good. I convinced Biggie to put the air conditioner on, I'm cooling down. Yeah, things
Big
are
week.
Let me tell you, all of a sudden this summer, somebody, not me, is very concerned with our air conditioner usage and
Hmm.
apparently likes for the inside of the home to be kind of warm these days. And I just feel like for the entire time that I have been with him, he always wanted the house cold. So I'm like, who is this person that now all of a sudden
That's an unwritten thing in the marital contract. Like, you don't get to like the temperature a certain way in the house, con someone into marrying you, and then flip the script. Like, you just don't get to do that. Like, that's part of why you potentially wanted to marry him. So just like let him know that that's like unacceptable. And like,
unacceptable?
you can't just become like a warm house person.
Yeah. And let me tell you, I have friends that like hate air conditioning. I do not get it. I'm like, how do you sleep at night on a really hot day? And like a fan can only do so much.
Call me privileged, but yeah, it didn't matter, what was going on financially. AC was a top priority in my house growing up
I'm like, let's cut
in
down the
the
groceries
acceptable
if we need
months.
to. I need the AC.
Yeah, I'll eat ramen for a couple weeks, but I'm not going to sweat my ass off. No, who likes a sweaty sleep?
I will say the compromise a lot of times has been that like a little bit before we go to bed, not a little bit, but like enough to cool down the house before we'll go to bed. He'll turn it on. But I looked at him and I was like, it's 80 degrees in here right now. Think
That's
it's
a
time.
beach day. You can't have that. And not to mention, it's only gonna get hotter. Yeah. The
I
AC
know.
in my house has been on for like 2 months.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's way hotter there.
And listen, I get cold a lot, but I rather like be able to put on like an extra sweater or whatever, even if it's like middle of August, like I'm in a sweater inside. I'm okay with that if it means that it's like not sweltering. We have animals,
Right.
we got to be careful. We can't be
Right.
reckless out here. But
I also like to snuggle in a blanket a lot. Like I like to be sitting on the couch with a blanket.
yes.
So like I can't do that if it's hot. And yeah, you could say,
Yeah.
Alexis, you don't need a blanket. It's weird for me if I sit on the couch with no blanket. I don't know. It just feels weird. I do it sometimes, but I feel like I can't get like in my comfy couch time.
I get that. I'm also a duvet on my bed always kind of person. Like a
Yes.
large like quilt plush
Hmm.
down comforter kind of person because I'm like a compression person. Like I like the weight of like a big blanket on me. I also it's why I also don't sleep naked. Like I like the weight of like my like comfy clothes and like a fuzzy blanket on top of me. So but that doesn't work if it's hot. Like, that's the worst sleep for me. If it's like, I'm hot, so I can't use my nice comfy blanket,
Do you want to know why I don't sleep naked?
because your dog buries himself under the covers and that would be inappropriate?
That is totally a reason as well. However, no, this pre-existed the dog. If I need to get up in the middle of the night and flee for my life, I can't be naked.
Great point. Great street smarts. I like where your head's at. I approve completely. And I'm going to tell people that's why.
Yes, there you go. On that note, let's get into the topic of today's episode. Recently, Ashley told me about this list of questions that she and her husband will go through together. So I obviously had to take a look and I was obsessed with them. So we figured we would do a few of them with each other today, just little gals. So to give you a little background, 5 decades ago, Arthur Aaron and Elaine Spaulding were psychology students at the University of California at Berkeley. Long story short, they fell in love and got married. Yay, very exciting for them. Arthur Aaron became fascinated on romantic love and designed a list of 36 strategically designed questions to help partners to get to know each other and ultimately fall in love with each other. Obviously, Ashley and I are not romantic partners, but we thought it could be interesting and kind of fun for us to go through some of the more lighthearted questions as friends. Also, we're not going through all 36. And just, we think we know each other so well, but do we? I guess we'll have to find out.
I love these because, yes, they're designed for romantic partnerships and they're not foolproof. Like, the point is not you're gonna fall in love if you answer these questions, but they're conversation starters. It's kind of like all of us have those like questions we like to ask on a first date or when we first meet someone or we're getting to know someone, and like it creates connection. It creates, an opportunity to dive into what you don't know about someone, like in a friendship, and like get to know each other, and it just creates great conversation. So this way we get to know each other a little bit more, but I think our listeners get to know us a lot more too.
Yeah. Here we go. Given the choice of anyone in the world, who would you want as a dinner guest? And I'm going to make it a little easier. You can do top 3.
Okay, so definitely. Oh, and does it specify dead or alive?
It just said, given the choice of anyone in the world.
Okay. I'm going dead. I would want to have dinner with my maternal grandmother, who I never met. She passed away few months before my mom found out she was pregnant with me, and she both of my maternal grandparents have a very strong like spiritual presence in my life. I never met
Mm.
them, I never knew them, but I feel like I know them. Like I feel like obviously I know what they look like from pictures, but I feel like I know the way they talk. I feel like I know their mannerisms. I feel like I know what they would say in certain situations, and I think of them as sort of like my guardian angels and like my protectors. And I'm not a terribly religious person, but definitely spiritual. And I definitely have a belief in a higher power and things like angels and guardians and protectors. And so, yeah, like I talk to them. I guess you could say I pray to them, but really it's like I just talk to them when I'm going
Mhm.
through turmoil mentally, and I just like need to feel like I'm not alone in my thinking. And so, yeah, if I had to pick one, like no offense grandpa, but I'd go grandma. Um Also because my mom tells me and others tell me that knew my grandma that like I am her. Like I'm like a
Oh, really?
reincarnation of her. The way I look, my mannerisms, things that I say, the way that I act sometimes. Yeah, my mom always says like I'm her, and like if she was here, like we would be super tight knit just because of our personalities. So I need to sit down with the woman.
Okay, you also went so much deeper.
Oh, I went full throttle deep.
I
Question 1.
okay, wait, not I do have to ask a follow-up question though. When you
Yeah.
were a kid, did you ever have you ever heard stories about you like seeing your grandmother or like, dreaming about your grandmother
No.
and like
I do dream about them, but no, I don't, and I feel like my mom would tell me, like, if I had, like,
yeah,
if I said things as a kid, like, "Oh, I saw grandma," or something like that, because I know
yeah,
that happens, right? Because kids are so much more connected to the other side. Whatever the other
yeah, they're more
side
open.
is, have we talked about this before on here, like, psychic abilities and things like that? It's almost like we all have a spectrum of those abilities, but
Mhm.
they're really, really strong when you're a kid, and what we do is, like, modern day society is not intentionally, but we kind of like push that down in kids. And
Yeah.
so that those abilities go away. Some people have them stronger than others. I definitely have some like psychic some things, but not necessarily as it relates to my grandparents, but I do dream about them for sure.
That's super cool. I love that.
So I don't really have a top 3. I think it's just I mean, I guess if I had another option, I'd go grandpa, you know? But, I don't know. I think that's yeah, that's all I've thought about so far. What about you?
Well, your answers, like I said, are way uh they're way deeper than mine are about to be. I initially was like Michelle Obama and Anthony Bourdain. Oh, yeah, I'm
For
not, and you
sure,
know
I
what?
could have guessed that.
I love a chef. A lot of times when I think about this like dinner guest question, because obviously this question is like we've all gotten it at some point. I
Yeah.
like to think about like if I was at a dinner party, what grouping of people would I want to have like a conversation with?
Your Real Housewives stack, but people.
Yes. Yes, literally. Like
Yeah.
what grouping of people would I want to sit down and just like have a glass of wine, talk about life, get into it, laugh, just have a good time. If I have to add a
Yeah.
third, it would be Isabella Stewart Gardner. So that's I'm
Wow.
obsessed with that. Yeah, I'm obsessed with that museum. I am obsessed with her. And if for those of you who don't know, Isabella Stewart Gardner, she had the most beautiful natural collection of art that she just collected over her time. And now there's a museum here in Boston where it displays all of her artwork. And she was an incredible collector. The amount of art that she had amassed and letters and everything over the years is really so large. And she also is very known to throw like a lavish party, but also to be kind of progressive for that time period.
Yeah, if you're ever in Boston, for the listeners, like, go. It's so magnificent and beautiful. And have you ever heard of slash done their tea service? Like their high
I haven't done
tea?
it. I want to.
Me and my mom, it was the perfect like mother daughter sister activity. Like you and your sister have to go. It
Yeah.
was like, I'm not, like, a big, like, tea person, but, like, it was so, like, whimsical and magical and fun, like, you have to go. It was so good.
Oh, I love it. Okay, well, yeah, I guess
Yeah.
she really kind of throws a wrench into it, not in a bad way, but it really just like kind of it'd be a different dynamic.
What's, like, something you would ask each of them?
Well, Isabella Stewart Gardner, what it would be like, what was it like to be so progressive in a time that just was not? And what was that like to move through the world? And like, did you feel isolated? Like, did you feel like you could relate to people? Like, things like that. Michelle Obama, I would just want to sit next to her, hold her hand, and just be like, give me like a pep talk that you would give to your daughters.
Mm,
I feel like she has so much
good call.
wisdom and she has such maternal energy. I would love to just talk to her and to hear what advice she would give. Anthony Bourdain, I would love to talk to him about his travel and the food he's eaten and just his incredible career as a chef. So I know the last two weren't like
Yeah.
specific questions, but more generalizations.
No, that makes sense. I would definitely yeah, I think I would definitely do the same, and, yeah, with Anthony Bourdain, I'd be like, "Just make me, like, a list. Like, make me a must-do before I die, eat, and go to," you know?
And also, can I get you on the stove really quick? Can I get you in the kitchen just a quick 1, 2? Just
Right. Can you
like
just, like, whip me up, like, just, like, a little something something
anything.
so that I can say that I've eaten something that you've made? Yeah, love that.
All right, next question. Would you like to be famous? And in what way? If your
Mm.
answer is yes.
I guess the simplest answer is no. I don't really have any interest in being famous. I like attention, I like performance. I love telling stories, but I don't necessarily have a desire to be like well known by hundreds of millions of people. Like I think I do like my privacy. I do like the ability to just like roam about my life without being like
On
fixated
display.
on. I think that while I don't know what it's like, I feel like I've seen enough like celebrity documentaries to know that like it's not for me. Just not necessary. Now, I would be okay with having some notoriety, right? Like, for instance, I'm just going to speak it. Like, I would love one day for this podcast to have like a really strong, large following, enough that we can go on tour and like do live shows and, partner with a great podcast network. And I'd like my art, my content to be what people like really value. I will take that, like whatever. I don't know, but I don't know that that's fame. Like, I don't need to be the top podcast in the world to the point where like I'm getting ripped apart like Alex Cooper on Call Her Daddy. If it happens, it happens, you know? You got to do what you got to do for the art. But like that's not the reason. Like
Yeah.
that's not what's driving me. I don't really care about being famous. And that's why I'm like people always say like, "Well, you love reality TV. Like, would you ever go on a reality TV show?" And I'm like, "Absolutely not. That's not the kind of thing I want to be famed for. No, thank you."
Plus, some of the conversations we've had about just like reality TV shows where you and I have been like, that could not, that could not be me. That
Like, I wouldn't play along the way that the producers would want me to. Like, I'd be fired. It wouldn't work. It just
wouldn't work.
wouldn't.
I have to say, I totally agree with you. Like, I definitely want to leave my mark on the world, but I also still want to be able to go to the grocery store. I still want to be able
Yeah.
to live a not like I'm not saying I want to live a quiet life, but compared to like somebody who is really famous, like live a quieter life and still be able to not worry about what I look like when I leave the house, not always having to look over my shoulder, not having to constantly like second guess things that I say and wonder, if they're going to be headlines or how things land. And I completely agree with you.
The things that like we create and do might lead us there, but it's just not the thing that we're looking for.
We're not going to be like what's his face on The Age of Attraction, who just was like trying to get on a reality show. I can't remember. It was the guy who wanted to also said that he had
It
auditioned for
was
Survivor. And anyway,
Yeah, I think I'm gonna fuck it up. I think his name was Chris, and then he was on the most recent season of Perfect Match. Did you see that?
yeah, I didn't watch it.
And then he was like barely on the show because he got ousted from the house. Sorry, spoiler alert. I don't think he made a big impact there either. And I'm just like, God damn, Chris.
Have you ever watched the show Unreal? It was on Netflix. I don't know if it's
Yes, yes, yes,
still
yes,
on
yes.
there.
It's a scripted behind the scenes look at The Bachelor, but it's not The Bachelor. They call it something else, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have actually watched that show a few times. I really like it. I remember the first time I watched it, this was like years and years and years ago. I was like, and listen, I know that a lot of what's happening in the scripted series is overly dramatized, but
Yeah.
some of the stuff I'm like, "You know what? I don't think that's for me. I don't think that's for
Yeah,
me."
because it's the POV of, like, one particular producer, and I think I saw all of season 1, but then I dropped off, but it's, like,
Mhm.
dark, the shit they make them do, and, I mean, there was a lot of talk when that show was, like, first airing that, like, "Oh, yeah, this is, like, a direct hit on The Bachelor and, like, what actually goes on behind the scenes of this show," and, yeah, it's icky.
Okay, this next question, I feel like now we're getting a little deeper, so sorry. If you were able to live to the age of 90 and retain either the mind or body of a 30-year-old for the last 60 years of your life, which would you want?
I need to hear the question again. Maybe
That's
it's the
fine.
mind.
If you I think you answered it. If you were able to live to the age of 90 and retain either the mind or body of a 30-year-old for the last 60 years of your life, which would you want?
Okay, meaning I'm 30. For the next 60 years, do I want this mind or this body? Well, see, this is where I become insufferable because I'm like, well,
You can't ask any follow-up questions.
ugh, I guess mind. I guess mind because my when you say mind, it goes to losing my mind, which terrifies me. I think that like trigger warning for anyone who's experiencing or has someone in their life who has dementia or Alzheimer's, but it's a fucking prison. I mean,
Mhm.
I had a grandparent who had Alzheimer's, and he lived for a very long time with it because his body was fine. His body was strong, but he was somewhere else entirely, and it was devastating. Because and listen, some of the time, he didn't necessarily know that he wasn't in his right mind, right? So, like,
Mhm.
there's some beauty in the not knowing, but those moments where they are frustrated and, like, they
Yeah.
wanna just go for a fucking walk, but they can't because, they'll get lost and they don't know where they are. But it's like, "But
Mhm.
his body is strong, he's here," like, devastating. So that's where, no pun intended, my mind goes, and I think about the question, so I'd have to say that 'cause, this body's not so I mean, I don't know, this is so hard though, like, because as someone who's now, like, taking so much more pride in moving my body, I thank my body, maybe not every day, but every week, at least once a week, I think, oh, thank you. Like, thank you for
Mhm.
this body that moves me, that I can do things, that I can get up, that I can move around, that I can get things done, that my hands are strong, like that like, oh, so this is
Mhm.
so fucking hard. But I think I have to pick one. So I guess mine. Fuck.
Yeah. It's a really hard question. And there's no right or wrong answer. Remember that.
Yeah, I just think like what if like your body's like immobile and then you're alert and your mind is there, but your body won't cooperate.
I know. I
That's
know.
devastating.
Yeah, and I mean, like, for me, when I thought of this question, or not when I thought of it, when I was thinking about this question, I thought of my grandparents, about how, like, they're up until the day that they died, for the most part, not perfectly, they had all of their faculties. Like, my grandfather was sending emails the day that he died, but he was, like, trapped in his body in the sense that he couldn't move, in the same way that he obviously could when he was younger. And I think for me, when I die, I want to be able to remember my loved ones and the positive
Mhm.
experiences in my life. And this has never happened to me, but I can't imagine if I like looked at my dad one day and he had no idea who I was,
Oof. Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
you know?
All right, so I stand by it. I stand by it. As a positive spin, though, now that I'm rereading the question for the 14th time, it does say retain your mind or body. So that just means that, like, like where you are now at 30 in this particular question, it just means that will stay. Otherwise, the other part that you don't choose, the mind or the body, whichever one you didn't choose, that will just move on normally. So it doesn't necessarily mean something bad or cataclysmic is going to happen. It could, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's
Right.
happening tomorrow. Just a little
I
cup
did
half full
not look at it
scenario.
that way. I did not
Well,
look at it that way at
that's
all.
why they
But I
pay
think
me the
that's
big
probably
bucks.
but I also think, because I went through and did a few of these questions with Biggie, I also think
Mm,
that's why, 1, you can't get through the whole list, but 2, I think that's the point, is that they can be interpreted in many different ways. Like, there were so many times when, like, we would ask each other questions and we both would be like, "Wait, that's not how I meant it." Like, that's not and it's
mm,
like, "Well, no, but that's how one of us interpreted it."
nuance.
All right, let's lighten this up a little bit. If
Okay.
you could wake up tomorrow having gained any one quality or ability, what would it be?
I need you to go first.
Okay. Okay. I honestly would say, for me, I have always been I live in my head a lot and I second guess myself a lot. And if I could snap and not do that and not just like live in my head like that, I would instantaneously.
Yeah. Do you like an example?
I am a naturally fearful person. Like, as a kid, I should say, like, growing up as a kid, I was, like, afraid of the dark, afraid of my own shadow. Like, I think I've mentioned this before. Like, I couldn't, like, I was afraid to cross the street if my parents weren't, like, looking out the window watching me. Like I was terrified I was gonna get like kidnapped. Anyway, I think that while I'm not afraid as an adult in the same way, I think that a lot of that fear, has just manifested as like anxiety. And,
Mm,
there are times in my life where I don't naturally trust myself or trust myself to make the right decisions. Or, you know what it is? I constantly wonder sometimes if the choices that I make are the right ones. And I don't know if that's like buyer's remorse, but I'm also not somebody who like lives with regret. But I'm always kind of like, is this the right move? Like, am I operating on the path that I'm supposed to be on? Like, is this the right
mhm.
decision that I make? Is this going to lead me to ultimately like what I want in the end? And I know that nobody necessarily has those answers, but I think sometimes it's like, I think in a way it can be like a lack of confidence with certain things.
Yeah. Like, maybe that's would be the some like, what you would gain, because then you
Yeah.
have conviction.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I guess mine is similar in that it's definitely in the sort of mental sphere. Um, I think I would outside of, cloning myself, which I don't feel like is an acceptable answer to this question, letting go. And what I mean by that is, like, I feel like I very often I'm wound up. I'm just, like, wound up like a fucking knot. Like, I am just, like, tense. Even in the moments where I've, like, created room for, like, enjoyment and leisure, like, I am just wound up, and I don't wanna, like, self-diagnose, but, like, there's, like, an OCD quality to me where it's like, I cannot let go of the to-do list, I cannot let go of, like, planning something and then it not going the way that I anticipated and then being, like, all, like, anxious and wound up about it, and, like, I just wish that I could let go a little more often and, like, let things sort of roll off my back a little more often, because I think that it would allow me to be more present more often and thus create more joy.
That's a beautiful answer.
Okay. Yeah, that's yeah, I feel like I was talking to you about this last week after we recorded. Like, I just need to fucking relax. I don't want someone to tell me to relax though. Like, I just wanna relax, but I don't want
No,
someone to tell
first of
me.
all, to tell somebody the least relaxing thing you can do is tell somebody to relax, to chill out. Like, that's not how it
Yeah.
works. Oh,
Yeah. We have a joke in this house, like, G and I'll be, like, stressed about something, and G will be like, because 'cause we've had this conversation, he'll be like, "Why don't you just, like, I don't know, chill out, relax?" Like, he does like, it's like a bit that we do because he knows it's, like, the craziest thing to say to somebody who's having, like, a moment, so it's, like, a bit that we do, and now it's funny, and it kinda calms me down, but
you're like, "Sorry, I can't just think
it's
about one
true.
thing at one time." Like, I wish. I can't.
Yeah.
What do you value most in a friendship?
Okay. I actually have thought about this, and I'm gonna try really hard to articulate it. I think that what I value most is, being seen, like, for
Mhm.
who I really am.
Yeah.
And, like, what I mean by that, by being seen, there being sort of an unspoken thing between me and a friend where they know I'm uncomfortable in a certain situation without me having to say it.
Like a reading between the lines.
Yeah, like, or they know, I'm gonna proactively protect her from this because I know that this is gonna be hard for her. Or just, like, sitting and, like, having a conversation with me and, like, validating, like, how I feel because they know so much about me and my personality that, like, they know. It doesn't need to be said. I don't know if I have that in all of my, like, certainly, like, my best friendships, but, that's why they're best friends. Like, it's harder to come by, and that takes a long time, like, that takes years
Mhm.
of being in different situations together and knowing each other's history, good, bad, ugly, and just kind of, like, having an inner knowing about someone. Like, I think
Yeah.
that that's really special and potentially rare, and, like, that is something that has to grow with time, but it is definitely what I value in those friendships where I have it. Like, it's so there's no pressure. They know me and I know them, and we're just enjoying each other, and that's it.
Yeah, and I know we talked about this a million episodes ago when we did our friendship episode, but there is
Yeah,
something about people who know you, who know where you came from, who, understand your family dynamic, who like
yeah,
and listen, I'm not saying that you can't have it with people that you meet later in life because I'm sure in a different way you can, but
totally.
I think like what I love about talking to my best friend is that like she gets me in a different way because she knows where I come from. And like she knows where I come from in the sense that like she spent time in my house. Like, she's seen my family dynamics at play. She's seen me like through
Mhm.
the come up, and as I've aged and gotten older and what I've left behind and what I've carried with me. Like, and I think that there's something that's so beautiful in that.
Definitely. Shout out to Alyssa, by the way, who's currently on her honeymoon, and I'm stalking her on Instagram every day watching her stories. And I'm only saying that because she told us when she was on the podcast that that's where she was going. That's the only reason why I'm sharing her business, but shout out if you're listening. I see you and I love what's happening.
Yeah, I actually just talked to
Mm,
her. She's back. She had an amazing time.
yeah.
So
But that's a
we're
great
very
example.
happy for
Yeah,
her.
call back to that episode. If you haven't listened to our friendship episode, Alexa's best friend Alyssa joined us, and like I saw, like I could see it. I could see it in front of my face. Like her just like knowing you, and you guys differ on a lot. You
Yeah.
differ
Mhm,
on personality, certain personality things. You differ on the way you would go about things, but
mhm.
you hear each other and like you know what's I don't wanna say what's best for each other, but kind of, like
Yeah.
the advice you give each other, it's because, well, I know you and like this is what you
Yeah.
need to hear. Not what you
Yeah.
want to hear, but what you need to hear. Like
What you need to hear.
that's so special. That's so special. So yeah, like just really being seen is such a
Mhm.
gift.
The understanding and ability to grow and change. The person that I was in 6th grade is not the person that I am at 34, and to expect somebody to be in a box for the entirety of your friendship, I just don't think is realistic or fair to anybody. So, kind of just
Yeah.
understand and respect that like people are going to go through things in their lives. Life's going to take people in like different places, but I would say like if your heart has stayed the same, like if like
Mhm.
who you are and like your heart has stayed the same, then like give people the space for, some of the other things to maybe look a little different.
It's interesting because that's kind of like the inverse of like what I was saying. In order to like be seen in that way, that takes longevity and a long time. But the only way that you stay friends with someone for a long time is you respect each other's ebbs and flows and changes. And like what's consistent is to your point, like your heart, but it's that give and take. It's like you need to allow each other room to grow and change, but the only way to get to that really special point of friendship is to stay friends. So,
All right, final question before we get into like the lightheartedness. If a crystal ball could tell you the truth about yourself, your life, the future, or anything else, what would you want to know?
wow. I'm like immediately I'm anxious. I know it's not actually happening.
Do you want me to go
But
first?
this is also something about me is like I take these like existential type conversations and thoughts like I take them super serious. I'm like, "Okay, what would I do?"
Yeah.
Yeah, you go first. Sorry.
Does everything work out? And do I have no reason to fear the things that I fear?
And what if they turn to you, whoever the crystal ball, acting like it's a human? And what if the crystal ball says, "Oh yeah, you got some crazy shit coming. You should be worried." You wanna know that?
If there's something that I could do to like mitigate, plan for it, not necessarily change the course of action, but maybe just like be ready.
Wow. So this kinda goes back to your answer about, like, what's something you would wanna gain or, like, an ability you would wanna have, like, is
Oh
sort
yeah, I
of
guess is
that,
that
like
true? You think it's too similar? Do you want I could come up with another
no,
one.
no, I think it makes sense. You're thinking, "Okay, well, then if I know that about myself and I have this next opportunity, tell me, am I thinking about this correctly? Like, do I
Mm.
have something that I need to prep for? Like, are the decisions I'm making, like, gonna work out. Like I think that it's on brand is I guess what I'm saying.
Oh, thank you.
Um I mean, this is I'm almost like embarrassed about the superficiality of this. Is that a word?
Yes,
Superficiality. Okay. Wow.
I think so.
She's
Don't
smarter
quote
than
me.
we thought. I talked about this a long time ago when we had the body image episode, but like it truly it consumes me. Food and the way my body looks and the way I feel in my body, like it really consumes me. I don't necessarily want to know like am I going to get skinny? Like that's not really it. I I think I like need to know
Like all the work that you're doing.
right, like will it quiet the noise eventually? Yeah, I know I can accept that this is always something that will be, like, on me in terms of, like, my mental health, like, this will just always be part of it because so much of it is mental and
Mhm.
not physical, but I don't know, I don't really know what my question would be to the crystal ball, I feel like I know the answer is, like, yeah, like, keep going, like, keep doing therapy, keep moving your body, keep exploring new ways, new methodologies, like, new ways of getting like, I know that the answer to that is probably yes, but, like, I gotta know that it's, like, I don't know, that it's gonna get better. I need them to tell me something that is going to motivate me to, like, continue this journey, like, am I ever gonna get to a point where, like, I don't have to, like, think about
Right.
the number on the scale? Or, like, am I going to get to a point where I can just, like, eat and not think about I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think ours are similar. And if you wanted to ask the crystal ball if superficiality is a word, it is.
Fabulous. Okay. Yeah, there's probably so many more things I'm gonna think about after this that are, like, way better suited, but yeah, that's where my head went.
Well, the good news is we only got through I think like 6 questions and there's 36 on the list. So I'm sure we're going to be coming at you with some more. I mean, maybe not well we'll have to see because some of the questions really are geared towards romantic partners, but there's a decent amount in
Okay.
there that you could just ask anybody. So we'll have to parse our way through.
All right, let's step away a little bit from the deep and the the intense conversation and roll into our millennial mouthfuls segment. This is our segment where we talk about what we love, what we hate, what we're watching, what we're doing, what's upcoming for us, what's on our mind. It's a little silly, it's a little slutty. It's just like us. It's the millennial mouthfuls. I want to kick this off by providing an addendum to my thoughts on Lindsay Hubbard.
Okay, I'm sat because you kind of came at me. You did.
Well,
You
yeah,
kind
I
you
mean, don't expect too much. Don't expect too much from me, but I listen, when I'm wrong, I'm going to cop to it, and when I have new revelations, I'm going to cop to it even if it's hypocritical to my previous thoughts. So, Lindsay Hubbard, cast member of Summer House, new cast member on In the City, uh currently in the throes of the Summer House reunion specials. Last one is airing tonight, so we're super excited to do more of a recap of that probably next week when we talk to all of
Mhm.
you. But there's two things. There's two things. I sort of vehemently was like, I don't think she's a good person. I think that she is not loyal. I think that any loyalty she's displayed in friendships that we've seen on television have eventually dissipated. I think that she can turn easily on friendships she was once loyal to if they're not serving her anymore. And as much as I do think that there is a large kernel of that is true. I want to add again, it's not a change, it's just an addendum
Mhm.
to the contract. The way that she is articulating the Wes Mandival of it all in this reunion that's actively going on, I have to have respect for it. I think it is a little self-serving. Like I think she says these things because she's vocal and she's got to get her airtime and she is a huge part of the show for a reason and it's because of her hot takes, her honest thinking. But I do think that she has a good sense of right and wrong in this
Was
scenario.
there something specifically that like was that like stood out to you? Was it in the second part of the reunion, or has it kind of been how she's been in the first two?
It was kind of a combo of the first two parts. She's being very diligent about speaking when it is most necessary to speak. And so when she is speaking, it's very powerful. And I think what she is saying directly to West, the thing
Mhm.
about you're so good, like you're so
Yeah.
good, like you know exactly what you're doing. Like I think she read him to filth and not in like
Yeah,
a
she did.
catty way. I think she had legitimate points. And I do think that it's coming from a place of this is just plain wrong, right? So, like, I want to acknowledge that I do think that she does have that sense of right and wrong. But also, I think that she really does feel for Sierra and she's got to get it out. Like, and she's saying a lot, even though Sierra does not need the help. Like, she is not
No,
a
she does not.
floundering little fish, right? Like, she's got herself, but it does really feel like Lindsay has her back too. It's hard for me because I also think that Sierra could do something tomorrow and Lindsay would drop her like a bad habit too. But in the moment, I acknowledge that like Lindsay has really matured. I think motherhood has done wonders for her.
Mhm.
I think at the end of the day, like she's raising not only a little human, but like a little girl. And like
Yeah.
she's gotta be sorry, but like you gotta be that example. And I think that she's standing a little taller than I think she has in the past. Like she's always been a big presence. When I say standing tall, I mean standing tall like morally a little bit more.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
No,
then
totally.
just to like bring it back to my catty ass self, this is not part of the Lindsay addendum, but it is something that needs to be said because I don't see anyone talking about it. And this is now the second week or third week in a row that I'm commenting on the way someone looks. And I'm really sorry, but her makeup artist needs to work on their blending. Like, I don't know what they're doing in her confessional. I can tell you what they're not doing. They're not blending out her contour. In her confessionals for In the City, and on this reunion. Like, I don't know if it's the way that the light is hitting her, but they've got to smooth it out. It is coming off so harsh on camera. And listen, when you're on camera and you're under big lighting, you have to do more dramatized makeup so that your face doesn't get washed out, right? Like anyone who's been in a wedding knows that, any type of like performance, like I know that, but it's almost like they've went overboard and they're not blending enough. And she looks like a doll, like a weird like caricature of herself. And she is and I did say last week or whatever the week before when I was talking shit that I think she's like smoking hot and stunningly beautiful. And they're not helping her. And it's got to be the same makeup artist who does her confessionals and her reunion look because it's the same issue. It's the harsh cheek contour that's not getting blended out. And then it's the nose in the reunion, it's the nose contour, and it's killing me because like she put so much thought and energy, they all did, into their looks, and they all look amazing at this
Yeah,
reunion.
they
I just
do.
like, we need to work on this. And for no one behind the camera, and listen, I've been on many sets and productions behind the scenes, and if I was behind the scenes and I was a producer, I would walk over to the makeup artist and I'd be like, "Hey, next time we break, can you just go over to Lindsay and blend her? Can you come over to the what do they call it? The little screen that they watch behind
The
the like
green
video
screen?
village when they're like
Oh!
like I'd be like, "Can you come the monitor?" I'd be like, "Can you come look at the monitor?" Because I think it's looking different in person than it's looking on screen. And next time there's a break, can you just go and like blend her nose out a little bit more? Like, sorry, call me a girl's girl slash a good producer. That is an absolutely appropriate thing for anyone behind the scenes to say to the makeup artist or to Lindsay herself. She doesn't have to worry about it. They should really say it to her team. But like, come on, guys. Call me a perfectionist, but I just wouldn't let that shit fly.
I respect it. I respect it. I did notice it in the city. Now I'm gonna have to keep my eyes open for this
Well,
this
now you
part
won't
3.
unsee it, and I
Yeah,
apologize.
now I definitely won't.
I'm
Okay, so this
sorry.
one that I want to talk about is very silly, but coming off of our summer nostalgia episode last week,
Yeah.
obviously, if you've listened to this podcast at all, you've probably heard that I live by the beach. And it's been actually hot here in Boston. So there have been lots of ice cream trucks. Or is it the same ice cream truck? I don't know. I hear the song. And listen, I know, Ashley, I know you've got fond memories of Mr. Softy. And I, too, growing up, loved an ice cream truck. Charlie Chime was my man. I was so excited when he came through the neighborhood as a kid. As an adult, when I see ice cream trucks, I can't help but get a little skeeved. And I do need to also say this. One, the music that they're playing, I don't have an issue with. The truck that has been going by has an added audio component where it's definitely a recording, and it's like it'll do like its music, then it'll go, hello. Like,
No.
it's creepy. Yeah.
Unacceptable. Unacceptable.
Like, it's like it does like the music, like the do like whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then it's like, hello. And I'm like, dude, it sounds like you're gonna like lure kids out of the house for like a horror movie. And also, I do not want to shame. I do not want to take away from people's appearances. But why is it always the most disheveled man driving the ice cream truck?
Yeah.
And I know it's got to be hot. Like, I know that they're not air conditioning. I know they don't even have like a whole door. But I know that the whole window's
beyond,
open.
I know what you're talking about. It's beyond the heat. Like, it's like, what's going on, man? Like, what's going on? Like, how'd you get here, bro?
Hot take here. The ice cream truck man is just the guy inside the Santa suit that you don't see.
Yes! This is what he's doing in the summer. In the winter, he's booked and busy. That is the best. I think it's a top 10 hot take on this podcast from you. 100%. Or like he's Santa in the winter, he's the ice cream man during the summer, and he's like the football mascot in the fall. Like, he's under the costume.
He's got Party City on
I don't know
speed dial.
I don't know why this joke would be, but let me tell you, it doesn't matter what he's like. I'm rolling up and I'm getting a soft serve on a cone. Oh, I've been jonesing for that every time we talked about it. Side note, I love like pistachio flavored things. We had like a whole bit, G and I, last summer, because everything I had was pistachio. I had pistachio EOS body lotion, pistachio double espresso from the Nespresso company, pistachio cream. Like I couldn't get enough. Like, we called it Ashley-O Pistachio Summer.
I love it.
And I wanted ice cream this weekend, and I was putting in like a grocery order, and I saw Haagen-Dazs had a pistachio flavor.
Oh, is it good?
So I was a dirty little slut. I got brownies from like the bakery section of H-E-B, which, shout out H-E-B, which is a great grocery chain here in Texas. I got their like brownies. I got the pistachio ice cream. I put a brownie in the microwave for 20 seconds, and then I put the pistachio ice cream on top. It was like salty, sweet. They had actual pistachio pieces in it, so it was like kind of a little bit of crunch. Oh, I might do it all over again this weekend. It was so good.
You should.
But anyway.
That sounds really good. Okay, to bring it back to the ice cream truck really quickly. Have you ever seen an ice cream van?
No, actually.
Let me tell you.
I don't think so. Like a minivan?
Yes.
Ew.
The apartment complex I used to live in would have like this ice cream van that would roll around. And for some reason, that to me is more unsafe. And listen, I'm not out here saying that ice cream trucks are unsafe. I'm just saying, if I had to, this is the thing. As a kid, you are taught, stay away from strange vans. Why do an ice cream van?
Right. Stay away from strangers. But when the ice cream truck comes, by all means, walk up, hand this man money, stick your arm in his window. That disturbs me. And is it like empty? Like, they have like coolers back? That's like homeboy woke up that morning had a minivan, and he was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to HEB. I'm going to get a shit ton of ice cream, and I'm going to roll up in this neighborhood. I'm going to play something out of my speaker, and I'm just going to sell ice cream. Listen, if
Hello.
someone rolled up right now outside this window with a van full of ice cream, like dope ass ice cream, and wanted to charge me, $10 a pop, I'd do it. People get desperate in the suburbs.
I will say it was a branded van. I don't know if that makes a
Okay,
difference.
that's
This is just
good.
like when
It
you
does.
fly
It's
in,
more trustworthy.
totally. This is the equivalent of like when you fly to Mexico and the taxi drivers like give you the Coronas like on like your way from the airport. It's the same
Right.
vibe.
It's like, you probably shouldn't, but like it's all part of the experience. Just
You
do
just
it.
got to.
That's great.
On that note, if you want more of our daily chaos, hot takes, and semi-responsible wisdom, follow us on social. The Millennial Matriarch Pod is at the Millennial Matriarch Pod on Instagram. Ashley is at Millennial Mind of Ash. I, Alexis, am at the_millennial_matriarch. We're on TikTok and Instagram serving questionable decisions, covering truths, and the occasional, wait, am I the drama? For more episodes of The Millennial Matriarch, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and on YouTube. Please rate, review, subscribe. Until next time, drink some water, trust your gut, eat some ice cream, and remember, you're the matriarch of your own fucking castle. Act like it. Love you. Mean it. Bye.
Bye.